Blackbeard has been quiet for way too long in the story, and obviously Moria has a lot of strong ties to Wano, but will these two end up getting involved in this crazy war that's about to go down in Wano? That's what we're going to be talking about for this video. Will Blackbeard and his crew and Moria make their way to Wano later in the story? Does it make sense at all for it to happen, and how would it play out if it did happen? Now, I'll mention Moria and Blackbeard together because they were together the last time we saw them. Last time, Moria had gone on to Beehive Island or Pirate Island to find Absalom. Now, Absalom, for those of you that don't remember, became an investigative journalist. Like, he decided, hey, I have a pretty powerful fruit. I could turn invisible. Instead of just being a weird sexual predator, I'm gonna use my powers for good. And so props to him for that. He broke some big news, the Apu Kid Hawkins alliance. He broke that news. So it was going pretty well for him, but he picked the wrong subject this time. He went to Blackbeard and he got caught and he got killed. That's pretty much it. Moria went over looking for Absalom and then he got bodied by Shiryu, who had Absalom's fruit. So then he was like, oh, Absalom's dead. Now, Moria, think about it this way. I really thought about it like, Moria, he had his whole crew killed before, and he decided to go, I'm gonna have just undead people. But he still had Perona, Hogback, and Absalom as his, only three real, crewmates left. And then Perona gets blasted to be Mihawk's waifu, and Absalom all of a sudden felt some kind of justice and decided to become a journalist. So Moria was just stuck with Hogback's weird ass, just over there making zombies. So he was probably pretty lonely for those 2 years. So once he found out Absalom was dead, and he probably thought Perona was dead too because Kuma just blasted her off. So he's like, wow, I'm just stuck with Hogback and a bunch of zombies. This really sucks. So he was pissed. He was like, Absalom's dead. Blackbeard, where are you? Get your ass out here. I need to beat you up. And then Blackbeard makes his first appearance post time skip. We start hearing in the distance, Zay ha 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 ha. And then his dialogue starts coming in like, Moria, not so fast. There's a lot of things happening right now. He mentions the revolutionaries clashing at Marijua with the two admirals. And then he also talks about the Straw Hats and Big Mom going to Wano. And then we also see Blackbeard finally has a full black beard, not just black patch. He looks sick. It's braided. He's got some girls around him. Man is thriving as the new Yonko. And that was the last time we saw Moria. The next time we saw Blackbeard was in between the break of Act 2 and Act 3 for Wano, where we get information on the Reverie and this whole thing with Sabo. Something happened, drastic, everybody's reacting. And from that dialogue, we jump to Blackbeard saying, pack it up, boys. And the specific Viz translated dialogue says, if the Navy is only going to take it, we might as well claim the prize. I don't know what the hell that means. What is it? Is that English? If the Navy is only going to take it, we might as well claim the prize. Didn't they just take the prize if they took it? I can't really break down what this means. Either way, it means the Navy was involved in something and they took action, but they didn't do something all the way. So now Blackbeard is going over to finish the job. That's the kind of vibe. But the dialogue here is very confusing, and maybe that's on purpose. But that was the last time we saw Blackbeard. He's taking action and he's going somewhere. Now, there's a lot of theories about this, obviously. One of the main obvious ones is something to do with the revolutionaries and Sabo, because that was the dialogue that we had seen beforehand leading into this scene with Blackbeard. And we've seen Blackbeard clash with the revolutionaries before on Baltago. He destroyed that island. So maybe he knows something about the revolutionaries, there's some kind of thing that Dragon has that's super powerful. So Blackbeard is going after that. So that could be a theory. Another popular one that I liked a lot is Blackbeard going to Totland while Big Mom is away, and him fighting Katakuri there to get the Poneglyph and everything. And I really like that one because I really didn't know how the Straw Hats and the Samurai were gonna defeat both Kaido and Big Mom. So that made sense if Blackbeard attacks Totland and then Big Mom has to leave. I don't really know how the Navy really plays into that. But that's just a theory that I thought would have been cool. And then finally, a popular theory is that Blackbeard is going to Wano with Moria. Now, when I initially heard about this theory, I really wasn't too keen on it, and I'll get into that a little later in the video, but there are reasons why this would work. First of all, Blackbeard did mention Straw Hats and Big Mom going to Wano where Kaido resides, so he knows this information. He knows it's going down. And then, of course, he's taking action, so you can link those two together. Maybe he's going there. As for why he's going there. There's been a popular theory that Blackbeard, is going after Kaido's fruits. He's been collecting devil fruits, and him already having what's seen as the strongest Logia and Paramecia with both the Gura Gura no Mi and the Yami Yami no Mi, him collecting Kaido's fruit on top of that. Imagine like Kaido's dragon, and then each of his claws is like the Gura Gura no Mi and the Yami Yami no Mi. That would be crazy. And then there's the whole thing with the theory with Blackbeard having 3 souls, with his Jolly Roger having 3 skulls. Like, that whole theory could tie in it. So he definitely could have a motivation to go to Wano. And then the other element is Moria. Now, Oda brought back Moria and connected to him with Blackbeard in the story for a reason. And a lot of people think that's because Moria going with Blackbeard to Wano makes a lot of sense. Now, Moria has way more connections to Wano than Blackbeard. Moria, when we were introduced to him, we were also introduced to Wano. That's because Ryuma was introduced, and Ryuma was a corpse that Moria had robbed, and the whole Shusui thing, and now that kind of became a small storyline as well in Wano, with Zoro having Shusui, and then him learning more about Ryuma, saying he might go and visit his grave, and then, he had to clash with Onimaru because he had the sword, and then eventually he got that sword replaced with Emma. So that storyline's popping back up, and then GECKO Moria even made an appearance in the flashback of Odin, because we saw him clash with Kaido, and that's where he lost his whole crew, and that really changed his mindset. That was a major character development point for Moria. He was somebody who had ambition, somebody who wanted to be the Pirate King, and then he went into the New World, clashed with Kaido, and lost his whole crew. And that's why he was like, I don't want no emotional attachments anymore. I just want undead crew. And that's why he got Hog back, and he really doesn't have any crew members anymore. So while Blackbeard did just kill Absalom, if Blackbeard offered Moria hey, how about you join my crew and we're gonna go take down Kaido, who wiped out your entire crew. Maybe that's something Moria's like, okay, I don't like what you did. I still hate you, but I'm gonna join you for this cause because I hate Kaido. If there was one person that Moria hates the most, that is definitely Kaido. His revenge on Kaido is definitely one of the most motivating factors of his ambitions. His only ambition right now is maybe just revenge on Kaido. That could be just his main driving force for still being a pirate. On a side note, Moria joining Blackbeard's crew is a major change. That's a Shichibukai joining Blackbeard's crew, just kind of reflecting, Luffy has Jinbei joining, another Shichibukai joining Luffy's crew. And for people keeping count at home, Moria joining the crew for Blackbeard would leave him with 12 main members, including himself. And then the Straw Hats currently have 10. So maybe, Straw Hats need 2 more members. One could be Carrot, and then another one is Momonosuke or Vivi comes back or something like that to even it up. But that's just a side note. But I could realistically see Moria joining Blackbeard to get his revenge on Kaido. The appeal of getting Kaido's corpse or his shadow, or maybe even both, would be insanely strong for Moria. And while I was thinking about this, I thought about, first of all, the shadows, they still live on even if the person is dead, right? Because that wouldn't make a lot of sense for Moria to keep value his shadow so much, where if the person dies and the shadow just goes along with it, it really would be a big weakness. But I don't think the shadow disappears even if the person dies, because we've seen people burn up in the sun if they don't have their shadow, but then Moria probably still keeps those shadows. So I got to thinking, what if Kaido dies and Moria takes his shadow and puts it back into Kaido's corpse, so the soul isn't there anymore, but it's still his shadow and his corpse? Would he be able to reanimate Kaido essentially with the same shadow and the same corpse, this immortal body and super strong personality and will as well? That would be OP. So I can see it working out this way, right? So the chaos is going on, everybody's fighting, and Luffy and Zoro and the Straw Hats and the samurai are going at Kaido, and they're finally doing some damage, but he's just too strong. And then once again we hear I'm pretty sure my mom's sleeping in the next room, that's why I'm laughing. dedication to the video. Gotta deliver that Blackbeard laugh. But Blackbeard starts laughing. He shows up, negates Kaido's devil fruit. Moria comes in, snips his shadow. Kaido passes out, and then, like, you know, they kill him somehow. Just like his corpse is right there, and they just pound him. The Gura no Mi, Blackbeard's just pounding away at Kaido's lifeless corpse, and he kills Kaido that way. And maybe he also attacked Totland beforehand. You know, that could be one way. Like, he comes back, he's like, oh, I got Kaido's devil fruit, and guess what, Big Mom? I got your poneglyph right here, and now I have Kaido's poneglyph as well, and now you're setting up Blackbeard to be a major threat, because right now, Luffy's the only one with 2 poneglyphs, right? And then we're assuming he defeats Kaido and gets a 3rd one, we're just looking for the 4th one. And that would be a way for now Blackbeard to have 2 as well, and now you're setting up this maybe he found the 3rd one already, and now you're setting up this final clash where each Luffy has 3 and Blackbeard has 3, and they both have the one they need, and they start clashing that way for the final epic battle. But yeah, I think it could work that Blackbeard attacked Totland as well. Now Big Mom is like all of a sudden turns and teams up with the Straw Hats, you know, to kind of even out the fights a little bit, or like she freaks out and leaves and goes back to Totland right away, taking away that external force. I do like the idea of her staying there a lot, because now this is the Yonko saga, right? How do we tie in every single Yonko? We're seeing, I think, like, Wano is like that grand finale of the Yonko saga. So like, if it were to end in this arc, it would really need to involve the other Yonko a little more, right? So Big Mom, Kaido are already there. Luffy is kind of known as the 5th Emperor. I mentioned in another video that a Whitebeard pirates showing up to Wano would make a lot of sense. So that's another former Yonko crew, and it looks like it's like happening already. And then Blackbeard showing up would make like only every single Yonko in this massive war besides Shanks. But speaking of Shanks, you might be thinking, if Blackbeard comes in, gets Kaido's devil fruit, Moria gets the corpse and Kaido's shadow, they're OP, right? How do we defeat them? In comes Shanks, because the last time we saw Shanks, he was talking about the Gorosei about a certain pirate, and that a lot of people think is Blackbeard, because he's been warning people about Blackbeard for a very long time. He went to Whitebeard, he's like, Whitebeard, hey, listen, look at this man. He gave me this scar. Do you know how strong I am? Like, you gotta watch out for this guy. Whitebeard didn't listen. Ace dies. Now, Shanks, he probably knows everything that's going around the world. And, like, if he hears, like, Blackbeard's going, everybody's going, he maybe just goes over Wano as well. Now you have literally every single Yonko ever existed is in one place for the peak finale of the Yonko saga, and now you got this massive war that is like been hyped up to like oblivion, to the point where people are disappointed with Wano. That could be the reason why it's been hyped so much. And you know, Oda's kind of building this war slowly but surely, right? Him revealing the traitor of Kanjuro already, bringing Denjiro back into the fold, bringing Jinbei in already, and now it looks like he's bringing back Nekomamushi and Marco and the Whitebeard pirates are ready. So he's already introduced all these elements who I thought were gonna be like mid-battle, like a, you know, completely changing the tide of the war, like a surprise element. He's bringing them in already. That makes me think there's more elements to come later on. So it kind of makes sense. Maybe he just spent the first 70 or so chapters kind of giving us like some character to like the people of Wano and really building up Wano country and letting us understand the state of the country. And now he's getting into this epic war. And Blackbeard and Moria showing up fits into that narrative. And if we really want to go crazy with headcanon here, you know, maybe Shanks stops them, and that's why, you know, it kind of settles down. The Marines and the SSG comes in, and Vegapunk maybe. That's another topic that I definitely want to discuss in another video. But, you know, it could really get crazy here, but it won't really, like, come to this whole war where everybody's fighting, right? It will come to a stop at some point, and then maybe after that, Luffy and Shanks finally meets, and, you know, they go to Elbaf because, like, that's Shanks' like, home base or something, and that really leads you to the next like arc of the story. And maybe Big Mom goes after Blackbeard, you set up a big fight between them, and like Shanks and Luffy have their own thing, and now you're really building up to like, you know, endgame, essentially endgame of One Piece. Now this might sound like a solid theory, but there is a reason I didn't title this video a One Piece theory, because I'm not completely in love with it. You know, it's not something, it's kind of more headcanon-ish than like a more like well thought out theory, because there are some things that I'm not in love with. First of all, Moria joining Blackbeard's crew. I don't want to see him like willingly do that and like really become a member of Blackbeard's crew, but I could see it playing out like he's like just kind of doing it for revenge, and like tries to betray Blackbeard later on. Maybe he gets killed that way or something. You know, that's an element I'm a little iffy on. And if it really goes down in my headcanon version that I just kind of spewed out there, it's really kind of rehashed from Marineford, right? Blackbeard comes in and like jumps into the midst of battle when it's all chaotic and takes advantage. Now you have Kaido essentially is in the Whitebeard role, somebody who's super hard to kill. Blackbeard comes in, finally does it, gets his devil fruit, and now he's like, oh my god, say ha 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 ha, and just ruling over. And then Shanks comes in and saves the day. It's too much of a repeat from the Marineford War. But Oda could also change the narrative. You know, that was just straight headcanon, everything I just came up with. So he could definitely change it to make it work. But the main thing I don't like is the idea of Blackbeard killing Kaido and like Moria killing Kaido. I want to see Luffy and the Straw Hats really take that next step and defeat Kaido somehow. Maybe they defeat Kaido completely and Kaido is on his last breath and then Blackbeard comes in. But then again, that kind of plays into like the rehashed idea of Marineford where Blackbeard is jumping in last minute again instead of like being this big bad and like just doing all the work. And maybe that's like kind of saving that for like a later arc. And you know, Blackbeard has been set up as like the final villain, at least one of the final villains. So maybe Oda's saving him. But I don't want to just keep seeing Blackbeard jump into the midst of chaos and take advantage of what's been done over and over and over again. And the last point is, if all these like people show up, even if it's just Blackbeard and Moria, it could get too chaotic to the point where like the Straw Hats just have to leave right away, and I don't feel like that's the way this arc is supposed to end. I feel like this arc is leading to a convincing win for like the Straw Hats, one that wears them out, but they definitely win with their own strength, not by like some kind of storytelling element like distracting it. You know, I mentioned all this kind of stuff in my How Luffy Will Win the Wano War video, so check that out if you haven't seen it. But I want to see the Straw Hats like convincingly take this win and then have their like big celebration where they have some time to calm down. It won't be a long time before like somebody else comes, but like just give them a little buffer period to like kind of celebrate. And that's not like my own wish, although I do want that to happen. It's been a theme, right? We saw that since like Arlong Park. They defeat Arlong, there's a party. They defeat Crocodile, there's a party. They defeat Enel, and there's a party. And then, you know, Water 7, they save Robin, and there's a little party, right? That's a theme that's been ongoing. And even before they attacked Onigashima, they were about to cheers for Jinbei joining, but they saved the toast for later on. So I definitely feel like there's going to be a celebration at the end. So Blackbeard coming in could kind of mess that up. I guess if he really just does that like a hit and run, it could work that way. Initially, before I made this video, I was pretty iffy on it. Like, I'm not going to lie, like, I really didn't like the idea, but now that I've kind of thought about it a little bit and like how it would play out and if it makes sense, I'm more open to it. I still don't really know how it would play out exactly to make it work. But what do you guys think? Do you think Blackbeard and Moria will make an appearance in Wano? And if you do think that's gonna happen, how do you think it will play out? Let me know in the comments below. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please hit that like button. Helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And as always, if you want to keep up to date with when I'm posting new videos, you gotta hit that subscribe button. I'm pretty sure we are close to 190 subscribers now. As I'm filming this, I believe we're at around 186. We're very close to 190 and we're getting close to 200. So thank you guys for the support, and let's keep it going. Hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to join the squad as well. Follow me on Twitter, I'm GeekKing4, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.